Welcome to Celestial Insights, a weekly podcast that brings the stars down to earth. I'm your host, astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks. My purpose is to provide practical, unique, and insightful guidance to help you navigate the energies of the week like a boss. Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and on this episode, I will discuss the astrology for the week of August 31st, 2025. I would love to have your feedback about the podcast and created a survey. The link is in the show notes. Everyone who responds can be entered into a drawing for a free reading, and the winner will be announced on September 21st. I'd love to know what you like about the podcast, what you wish was better, what you'd like to see more of, anything you find not of value. So please feel free to be honest and forthright, as I want to deliver the best information that helps people navigate these times. Last week's podcast was called Put a Ring on It, and the word of the day on Tuesday was energized. And let me tell you, when I saw that my prediction that Taylor Swift would be getting engaged last week was correct down to the day, I was whooping and hollering and jumping up. Congratulations to the happy couple. The Sabian symbol for the new moon in Virgo was in a portrait. The best of a person's traits and character are idealized. And their engagement photo, when they're looking at each other, and it's not ostentatious. And in the caption, she said something like, "Your gym teacher and English teacher get engaged." It was so Virgo. She brought the stars, literally her and her fiance, down to earth and into their core, or who they really are. Taylor Swift is a lover of the English language. She's a poet. And Travis Kelce is an athlete, like the gym teacher. I felt it was so grounded and Virgo energy. And the new moon squared Uranus and Gemini, a surprise finger. Gemini rules the hands. And we're in difficult times. So it was just so wonderful to see positive news, people in love, moving to the next steps of their relationship. And I went through all the details of the astrology on my YouTube channel. There's a link in the show notes, or you can just go to YouTube and look up my channel, Astrology by Celeste. I'd love it if you subscribed, hit the little bell, and comment on the episodes that you watch and enjoy. The Birthdate Company makes amazing products, and I am a proud affiliate. I especially love the Birthdate book. It's a fully personalized, beautiful, and unique reading of your birth chart with over 70 pages of detailed horoscope analysis. It is such high quality. I absolutely love it. They also make amazing birthdate candles. You can get it for yourself or as a gift for someone else. So check out the store and use my coupon code Celeste10 for a 10% discount. Go to bit.ly/3PW3NFM. You can find that in the link in the show notes. Enjoy. The theme of this week is the Executioner's Song, and there are three big things I want you to think about as you navigate this week. The first is that Saturn is retrograde, and it will re-enter Pisces from September 1st through February 13th, 2026. Saturn, the planet of boundaries, limitations, control, and karma. Saturn is the grim reaper. Now, retrogrades also pull back the tape on deception. So there could be information surfacing about someone who died in the past and like some deception cleared up. Now, if you're someone who has struggles with any kind of substance abuse or just escapism, September 1st can be a great day to think about stopping the habit, whether it's drinking, drugs, or like eating excessively. This is great energy to put the brakes on a bad habit. Now, Saturn will go direct on November 27th. That's Thanksgiving Day in the US, and this could be a really tense Thanksgiving for some people, especially if you have planets around 25 degrees of Pisces, where Saturn is going to go direct. Because what happens when a planet slows down to station and change directions, it's like a branding iron that like really grounds the energy in. So especially if you have anything around 25 Pisces or the opposite sign, Virgo, or the squares would be Gemini and Sagittarius. And I'd especially give a degree on either side. So we're really looking at 24, 25, 26 of the mutable signs. There's going to be a story in your life about this. Now, it could be that you're just really working on something very hard, or you're under a lot of pressure, or have extra duties or responsibilities, and then they'll start to lighten up. But this work of this transit, and you can look to see what house you have Pisces in your chart or houses, and that's where you're being called to get clarity and crystallization and recognize and take more responsibility for things in this area. Now, Thanksgiving, you might want to think about traveling. There could be lots of delays or bad weather with Saturn stationing, and maybe think about staying close to home. Just be aware you may need extra time on either side. And if there's something in your house that's leaking and you've been hesitating to call the plumber, I would call them right now. The United States sent a naval group of ships, including destroyers, submarines, aircrafts, are all deployed near Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro, the leader there, is being accused of being participant in the drug trafficking. And we're headed to a Pisces lunar eclipse. And lunar eclipses are known for taking out leaders. So we'll see if something happens over there. Venezuela has called up 4.5 million people and militia people, and then there are troops on the border. So there's concerns that somebody's going in there trying to take out Maduro. I got a hit that this is a distraction tactic and the actual target is somewhere else. The next thing I want to make you aware of is that Mercury will enter Virgo from September 2nd to the 18th. Virgo is the home sign of the planet of communication, commerce, and transportation, where it can do what it does with ease. Virgo's job is to bring order to chaos. If you have a writing project where you need your speech or writing to be straightforward, precise, focused on the facts, this is excellent time to be getting it done. This is great energy for problem solving, research, and planning. Be mindful of being overcritical. Virgo energy can be a little nitpicking or perfectionistic in relationships as well as self-talk. There could be an announcement that causes people shock and surprise or disappointment about public health or sanitation. Saturn retrograding back to 29 Pisces, a degree of crisis and decay, and the next day Mercury entering Virgo, a health sign, concerns me about drug overdoses. So there may be some big news story over the weekend. There's a drug that's being detected in California called cartafentanil, and it's 100 times more potent than fentanyl. So this could be a problem, especially since we're having a lunar eclipse in the sign of Pisces. Maybe there's a big announcement in a newspaper warning people about this drug. The last thing I want to make you aware of is Uranus stations retrograde at 1 Gemini on September 5th and moves back to 27 Taurus, where it stations direct on February 3rd, 2026. Uranus is the great awakener. It rules like eureka moments where you get an incredible bright idea, surprises like proposals. It suddenly breaks things. It's lightning strikes, earthquakes. The energy seems to come out of nowhere. Everything seems fine, and then all of a sudden there's a big change. Now, Uranus can be winning the lottery or your car breaks down. And it's in the sign of Gemini, which rules transportation, communication, siblings. I've got something about why are the Kennedy brothers going to make news? I wrote on Threads about JFK and RFK, the former president and the attorney general, and wondering why are they going to make news with Uranus retrograde in Gemini. So maybe this is what the story from the past is, something about one of their assassinations. Uranus rules assassinations. On the day after the Virgo sun squared Uranus in Gemini, the president said he's thinking about renaming the Department of Defense back to the Department of War. Retrogrades can bring back previous situations. He does not have the authority to do this. This is something Congress should be doing. The moon is in Aquarius on the day that it stations and it meets Pluto, where people can be dealing with some kind of serious crisis. And then the next day, the moon enters Pisces, which has some themes of loss and deception. There could be some kind of massive system outage that leaves people stranded and difficulty getting transportation somewhere. The reason the episode is called The Executioner's Song is because that came to me, and there is a firing squad execution scheduled in Utah on September 5th. Ralph Menzies killed a gas station attendant, and he now has dementia. It's being appealed. Now, there is a lunar eclipse in Pisces on Sunday, and dementia is a disease where there is confusion in the mind. How can you execute someone who doesn't even understand what they're being punished for? So we'll see if he gets a stay of execution, but with the retrograde, it's quite possible because delays, conflicts, the collapse of what was contemplated, these are themes of retrogrades. It's a planetary affliction, so there's could be problems. We could see some big road rage incident happening. I would not be giving anyone a dirty look. If someone is crashing out, which is becoming more and more common as people are unable to handle the stresses of life because times are so difficult, give them a wide space. If you can, and it's safe, try to de-escalate the situation. And if you see someone trying to poke at them or poke the bear, it's really important that they not just keep amping up, because this is intense energy where people could just kind of just snap. Uranus also rules suicide. So if you're concerned about someone or yourself, please try to get help. I would take anyone talking about this kind of topic very seriously. because this is an eclipse coming and people can be feeling somewhat hopeless. I'm really starting to feel more positive about the future. I feel like we're going through this difficult time, but on the other side, I am holding on to hope that there can be some really big positive change that comes from this time and that things are not going to last as long as we think they might, but I could be wrong. If you are embarking on a new journey, experiencing a major life event, feeling stuck, trying to make a difficult decision, or just looking to make positive changes, astrology can provide life-changing insights. There are several ways to work with me. You can come for a 60 or 90-minute astrology consultation depending on your needs. Engage in longer-term cosmic success coaching where we work together on a 3-month basis to help you overcome blocks, improve your life satisfaction, build better relationships, accomplish your career goals, and understand yourself better using the tool of astrology. Or mystic mentoring if you're an aspiring astrologer and want help with chart analysis techniques. Go to astrologybyceleste.com to check out my offerings. If you have any questions, you can email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com. On Sunday, the word of the day is conflagration. Yesterday, we had a first quarter moon in Sagittarius, which is fire energy. It's feisty, it's fun, it's expansive. And on this day, Mercury in Leo is trine Chiron in Aries, both at 26 degrees. A powerful orator may give a really incredible speech about saving the children, motivating people to bring healing. This is a good day to think about your inner child. What does your inner child need? And it's the last day of Burning Man, so you may even see on the news, they set this temple thing on fire on the last day. So it's really in line with the Sagittarius energy. The Sagittarius Moon squares the nodes on this day, so people can come up to a choice point. The North node's in Pisces. Do I want to escape? And this is at 18 degrees, all of these. And the South node's in Virgo. Do I want to take care of my health? Somebody may offer them a sniff of something. Don't take candy from strangers would be my advice. On Monday, the word of the day is bottleneck. Saturn retrogrades back into Pisces. The Sagittarius Moon will then square Saturn in Pisces at 29 degrees. Burning Man has like 70,000 people. This could be people in a really bad traffic jam trying to get out of there because of some kind of storm. The moon in Capricorn is at 6:44 p.m. Pacific time. The moon does not like to be in Capricorn. It's a sign of its detriment. So people can be pretty grumpy or a little bit glum. There can be news about governments, big business, or the elderly as the moon squares Neptune in Aries at 1 degree. Saturn rules the elderly, so there could be something about prescriptions that people won't be able to get when Saturn moves back into Pisces, or prescription prices going up, or a story about older people breaking their medications in half. On Tuesday, the word of the day is proclamation. Mercury in Leo quincunxes Saturn retrograde in Pisces, both at 29 degrees of crisis and decay. Quincunxes move us into new situations where we have to release and let go of something. This is the president's ascendant, 29 Leo. So there may be more news about his health problems. And then Mercury enters Virgo at 6:22 a.m. What is being announced about health? Pets, small pets are a Virgo topic. Armies are a Virgo topic. Systems, workers, and then Mercury and Virgo quincunxes Neptune in Aries retrograde at 1 degrees of the signs. I called this proclamation because it sounds like there's either the president's making some definitive statement or someone's talking about him. And then there's this energy of I'm getting health or armies. It could be about these, with Neptune and Aries, be about the military Aries on the water, Neptune. We shall see what happens. On Wednesday, the word of the day is ecstatic. Mercury in Virgo squares Uranus and Gemini, both at 1 degree. There's some kind of news where there's a sudden break, where something is communicated. And Mercury's quincunx Pluto in Aquarius. So it's like a large group of people, it impacts them. And I was getting dancing in the streets playing in my head, like a leader that's not liked may have a big problem or come to an end. The Capricorn Moon, so that's what gives me the leader in a corporation or in the government, squares Mars in Libra, both at 17 degrees. And then the moon is opposite Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter in Cancer is very expansive. And then square Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer. And then we have a gibbous moon at 26 degrees of Capricorn at 9:52 p.m. And that's quincunx, the president's ascendant. And the gibbous moon is pregnant with possibilities. This is really interesting energy and how it shows up. And if we do see people dancing in the streets or people excited about something, hopefully it'll be something good news. On Thursday, the word of the day is communal. I got the song Goodness Gracious, Great Balls of Fire playing in my head. That was Jerry Lee Lewis, I believe. And we have an Aquarius moon at 3:31 a.m. Pacific time. Aquarius is a sign of groups. It rules organizations and friends. Maybe there's something about Congress or some kind of parliament around the world. And then the moon meets Pluto. And on this day, we have Mars in Libra, quincunx the north node at 18 degrees. So a group of people, it could be like the UN, could be making an announcement, taking action, or cutting off of relations with someone. This is the day Mars in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer, both at 18 degrees. When I was writing this, I was thinking, could there be, and I've thought this before, that at some point there's going to be some kind of executive order or something where Plan B or some birth control can't be shipped through the mail in the United States. On Friday, the word of the day is termination. This is the day Uranus stations retrograde at 9:51 p.m. We'll see if the man in Utah gets clemency or a delay so that he is not executed. There could be bad weather or some kind of power outage, delays. So if you're traveling, just be prepared. Go to the bathroom before you leave the house. I suggest all week, make sure your phone is kept charged just in case something happens, because with Uranus, everything seems fine. And then all of a sudden there's a sudden break, and Gemini rules communication. So it could be a website goes down. On Saturday, the word of the day is retreat. The Pisces moon begins at 8:54 a.m. Pacific time. Pisces is a mutable water sign, and the eclipse is the next day. So something will be revealed to you. Pay attention to what comes to your conscious attention. You might want to pull a few cards from an oracle deck. You may get great insights. This is a time to be creative, listen to beautiful music. The water signs are mute, so there's no need for a lot of talking. You may get an incredible download when Uranus stations retrograde. that breaks your mind open and you realize something you never realized before. It could have to do with your early childhood because Gemini rules children. Or you're talking to your parent and they're telling you about their childhood and you all of a sudden forgive them about some things that you were angry or resentful about. Or there could be some people who's talking to their parent and realize, oh my God, mom has dementia, because Pisces rules like mental fog and illness and confusion. There's something about Uranus stationing retrograde first and then the Pisces eclipse second. There's energy of a sudden event, and then there is a lot of emotion. Take good care of yourself. Go to the bathroom before you leave the house. Stay present for insights, awakenings, revelations. For most people, this will just be a boring old week, but there is information available to us that can help us deeply understand ourselves, other people, connect deeper in our relationships if we're paying attention. So that's it for this week's episode. Feel free to email me at celeste@astrologybyceleste.com with any astrology and action stories. Please fill out the survey and enter the drawing for the free reading. Take good care, and I'll catch you next week. Thank you for listening to Celestial Insights. To learn more about my work, please visit my website, astrologybyceleste.com, where I offer personal readings, horary consultations, cosmic coaching, group events, and classes to help guide people to higher levels of fulfillment. You can also find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook at Astrology by Celeste. If you enjoyed Celestial Insights, please help others find the show. Follow, rate it 5 stars, or write a nice review. I would so appreciate it. I'm astrologer, coach, and intuitive Celeste Brooks, and I'll be back next week.